Hello everyone, welcome back to Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast, the podcast that talks all about all things anime, all things manga, anything that you're kind of thinking Japan related, it's about anime, it's about manga, I'm going to be talking about it on this podcast, so be sure to subscribe to make sure you don't miss an episode. So I'm your host Ryan and I'm a massive anime and manga fan, and I have been for many years, since the 90s, since I was a kid. And that fad has never truly ended. So a few things before we dive into today's episode. Down in the episode show notes you'll find links to my Etsy shop where you can find a bunch of anime themed goodies for you to shop and enjoy. So there's pin badges, there's stationery, there's keyrings and more. Whether you're a One Piece fan, a Jujutsu Kaisen fan, a Pokemon fan, a Mario fan or anything else, you'll find a goodie on the shop for you to check out. There's something for every anime and manga fan over there. The link is down in the footer in the show notes, so be sure to check out my Etsy shop, Chibiweeb merch on Etsy. If you're a gamer, much like me, then why not check out Razer? You can find a bunch of accessories from mouses, keyboards, headsets, mouse mats and more, to the bigger stuff like gaming laptops and desktops. Over on Razer website, link down below, you can shop a whole host of gaming accessories, from the chroma range, which is all colourful, which is my favourite stuff, to more sleek black stuff, including even their own merchandise, clothing, bags and accessories. There's something for everyone. The link is down below for you to check out and shop. Hello everyone and welcome back to Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast, and this week it's all about the ever-growing lists of anime that we want to watch. If you're anything like me, you have a long list of anime, a list of anime that you're currently watching, a list of anime that you want to watch, and a list of anime that you know you want to check out at some point, but haven't ever actually got around to it. Maybe that's the same list as your to-watch list, mine kind of merge, but this week, it's all about an anime bucket list, and bucket lists are quite the trend, and they always kind of have been. Bucket lists have always been a big thing where it's kind of, especially around this time of year, the new year, January time, people love to kind of think about what they want to do that year or this part in their life. Maybe you like me, maybe you've got a big birthday coming up, right? You've got a big birthday. Mine's 30 this year in July. So I'm about to say goodbye to my 20s. So it's kind of like a lot of people at that time would like a 30 before 30 kind of bucket list, and this week it's about an anime bucket list. So following on that kind of theme, it's all about an anime bucket list, and every season I end up with anime that I didn't get around to watching. Bearing in mind that I work full time as well, so I can't quite watch anime all day, but this however does have some benefits. It means I can marathon basically an entire season of an anime instead of waiting for the episodes weekly. But it does leave me open for some spoilers, and it does mean that you can't quite... Some of the hype around some episodes you kind of miss, obviously, because you're not watching it weekly, so there are some pitfalls to this. But one of the gifts I got for Christmas was an anime bucket list poster. And think of like a big scratch card. Think of like an A1 size scratch card, and you kind of... It's covered with 100 anime, both series and films, to watch during the year, or whenever you get the poster, I guess. And you scratch them off one by one to reveal a little image, a little illustration underneath that relates to that specific anime. So it's kind of like one big scratch card with 100 silver boxes on there, and you kind of scratch them off when you watch that anime. And this was, like I said, this was a gift, and I thought this would be an awesome challenge for 2024. You can obviously do the poster in your own time, you can do it whenever. But I really liked the idea of getting this poster and trying to watch all 100 of these anime that's on this poster by the end of 2024. And yes, we are a couple of weeks in, but I started to prep. I've started to kind of look at the poster, make the lists on Crunchyroll. We'll get into that in a little bit. But what I am excited for is the kind of variety of anime that's on the poster. There's kind of like a mix of darker anime, there's some Ghibli anime movies, they're absolute. They have to be done, don't they? If you're a fan of anime, you have to watch some of the Ghibli movies. There's some romance anime, shonen and more, but the poster is filled with anime. And some are well, specifically it's filled with 100 anime, but it's kind of filled with big anime such as Demon Slayer, Naruto, One Piece. But then there are some lesser known anime which are intriguing me. So there's ones like Redline or Tokyo Godfathers. And although I've heard of Tokyo Godfathers, I've not heard of Redline. And there's kind of anime like that I'm excited to kind of step out of the big hyped up anime. And I could be wrong, maybe these are hyped up anime, I've just never heard of them. But I'm excited to kind of step out of my own comfort zone with the anime and start to think about watching or kind of plan to watch anime that I've never actually heard of, know nothing about, I've not heard anything about, and kind of just take it for what it is and enjoy it for what it is, instead of having anime that's continuously hyped up or continuously in the mainstream side of anime. So I do think the challenge will allow me to kind of delve into genres I rarely, if ever, dive into. Genres such as the romance genre. I know that that's such a huge genre for anime, and there's so many specific anime films along that kind of genre, and there are some on this poster, and it's a genre that I've never really truly dived into. It's never something that's really tickled me. I prefer more of a darker, almost mystical sorcerer, almost fantasy, I guess, to that kind of degree, but almost like demons, that kind of vibe of an anime. And I like a shonen anime. So I kind of I'm excited to start this challenge because it means I'll dive into the areas of anime that I don't really dive into myself and kind of step out of that weird comfort zone. And now this challenge, I know this challenge won't be filled with anime that I love. I'm not going to love all the anime all the time on this poster. There's 100 on there, so there is a likelihood that somewhere down the line I won't like some of the ones I'm watching, but that's part of the fun. Maybe I'll find a new top favourite anime out of this, and maybe I'll find an appreciation for some other anime. You know, it's hard to kind of, when we have such huge anime like My Hero Academia, One Piece, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, that are going week by week by week, or if you're like me with One Piece, for example, that, you know, you're kind of marathoning it because you're quite behind. I'm on episode 921 at the moment. There's kind of, it's hard to kind of start another anime on top of that without having to fall out with the others. So I kind of got a couple of lists going on, but I'll dive into that in a second as well. But I did think, with that in mind, it's worth kind of thinking about the rules for this challenge. And whether you had the poster or not, I think this could be something you could try out at home. But let's go through the rules of the challenge. So rule number 1 is that I can't scratch off the anime until I've finished the anime, or until the most recent series is out currently. So take Demon Slayer, for example. So right now, on the 11th of January recording this, I am caught up on Demon Slayer. So in theory, I could scratch that off. However, I do know that the next series of Demon Slayer starts in, well, the next kind of movie that they're saying comes out in February. So I'm not going to scratch it off now, because I know that in 2024, we're going to have a new season. So that will be the season that incorporates into this challenge. And that's the one that I'll kind of focus on finishing and then scratching that off. Number 2 is that I can't replace anime with another that I'm currently watching or plan to watch. So what's on the poster is it for the challenge. I'm not going to take an anime that maybe if I take a look at it on Crunchyroll, Netflix or Disney, whatever, and I don't like the look of it, that isn't grounds for me to swap it out with something else. If it's on the poster, that is gospel, and that is what I will watch for 2024 minimum. And number 3, it's not really a rule, but I will document the challenge on Instagram and TikTok. I'm kind of interested in getting feedback from other guys and other people about what they thought of the anime that I've just watched. And I don't know if I'll do reviews, but I'll definitely review on here. I'll definitely leave, maybe there'll be a new section in the podcast for like a couple of seconds, or like a minute or so, just to talk about the anime that I've watched on the list, where I'm at, and kind of follow it through like that. I think if there's that kind of, not pressure, but I can't think of the word right now, if there's that kind of outside influence or kind of review kind of flow to it, then I've been more likely to finish this challenge. And I know that from the offset, this challenge seems really easy. Some of the anime have one season and it's 12 episodes, so it's not very long. But there are some on here that are huge. There are ones such as Naruto. Now, I in the 90s, yes, I did watch Naruto, but I've not watched it to completion. I haven't watched it in a couple of years. So I've not scratched that one off because I've not finished it. So I will be picking that up. However, I know that is an absolute marathon of an anime. And so is Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. They're on there as well, but I never finished those. And I know for a fact I did not get very far into Dragon Ball at all. At all. I did not get very far in that. But what anime from the poster am I most excited about watching? I am excited actually to dive back into Naruto. It's absolutely iconic and it is one of the big three. So I am excited to dive back into that one if I'm honest. But there are some on this list, on this poster, that have been on my anime watch list, or well, not watch list, but kind of want to watch list for a long time. So there's ones such as No Game, No Life, Devilman Crybaby, so that's one of the ones that's more like an 18 plus anime. It's not dirty, I don't think, it's not naughty, but it's more adult. There's Erased, and this one I've not actually heard of, but this one, when I've looked it up, it gives a really vague description of the storyline, and it looks a little bit dark, but it looks really intriguing, and I can't wait to actually see what it is. What's it actually about? It's all about this kid that kind of experiences stuff that no one else can, but that's really vague. What is that? So I'm excited about that. And then there are other big ones, such as Fairy Tail on here, and I know that one is so hyped, and I've never ever started it because, like I said earlier, there's so much anime that I'm currently watching that I've just not had a chance to pick another one up. There's ones from the last season that I've not picked up yet that I need to pick up and I want to pick up, so I'll be adding those to the list as well. But there are some anime that I'm not too sure about, and these are ones such as Mobile Suit Gundam, Initial D, and Trigun, and they kind of, two out of the three of those, for now, kind of sit alongside the mecha genre, which isn't one I've ever really watched because it doesn't really appeal to me. It never really has. But one of these anime could change my mind, you never know. Initial D looks more racery, so that one I do like a game such as Forza Horizon or the Forza racing games. I do like a racing game on the PS5, for example, or the PlayStation or Xbox, whatever console it is. I like a racing game. So maybe that one could change my mind. It's the others that I'm unsure about. However, I don't want to go into all these anime with a kind of predecided, like preconceived notion that I'm not going to enjoy them. I'm kind of just going to take them as they are and see what they're like. And like I said before, if it's on the bucket list, if it's on this poster, it's going to be watched, and it has to be watched in 2024. And like I said before, there are some anime on this bucket list that won't fully end this year. So ones such as One Piece and Demon Slayer, however, I was scratching those off once the current season ends, or I'm at least caught up. So Demon Slayer, I'll finish in when the newer season starts, season 4. But then One Piece is just wherever it's continuously running. I'll scratch it off when I'm currently on the most caught up episode. So like I am like waiting for the next week's episode kind of state, because then it's kind of caught up. I am watching it weekly then at that point. So I'm at 921 out of 1089 with 2 days to go until Egghead starts. So I've got a little bit, so that'll be on the poster for a little while. But to make it easier from an organizational point of view, I'll kind of create lists on Crunchyroll, Netflix, and Disney Plus. So the anime on the poster is kind of like a mix of the different servers, which is interesting, which is kind of nice. Instead of it always being not always on Crunchyroll, it would make it easier. If I'm honest, if it was all on Crunchyroll. But there are some anime that aren't on Crunchyroll that are on Netflix and Disney Plus. So for the challenge, I've kind of made these lists so I can easily move on to the next anime on the poster without having to sit and search for it. I've not managed to go through all of them and add every single one to the list. And there are some that aren't appearing on any of the servers. So I'm going to have to find maybe another place that I can watch some of them. But I'll be able to find them somewhere, I'm sure. But there's kind of like a mix of them being on Crunchyroll, Netflix, and Disney, and it's kind of interesting. So that might open me up for different anime as well, alongside those, like the original anime on the list. But I don't think I'll do them in any particular order, more just what takes my fancy at the time, and kind of see what really tickles me in the beginning and kind of go from there. But I think with this challenge, I'm really excited to start it, but I'm really excited that I'll be able to kind of step out of my anime comfort zone. And I think this could be something that you guys could do at home. If there's maybe, I don't know if there's, you could buy the poster, you could easily just search an anime bucket list poster and buy it and do the challenge alongside me. That could be really, really cool. But then you could also do it at home with the kind of like, maybe make a list for yourself on notes on the iPhone or kind of a note app or a notebook, or even like make a mood board for yourself. Do that kind of thing. Do it more DIY. This could be a really cool way to kind of all of us to watch different anime, and I'll put the list up, I think, in the show notes of the anime that's on the list, so you can kind of see what it looks like, what the list is for the bucket list poster challenge. And you can kind of see what I'll be watching for the entirety of 2024. But alongside what's on this list, I will also be watching the different anime that's out every season. So things like Apothecary Diaries, things like that. Those kind of anime that come out every season, Spy Family, for example. The on this list that are newer, that won't be something on the poster like this. It's probably been in production for a while. So I'll be adding those to my general watch list as well. So it's kind of, the list will never get shorter. It'll probably only get longer throughout the entirety of the year. But I'm excited. I've added anime such as that, like Apothecary Diaries, Spy Family, those kind of ones. I've added those ones to a separate to-do list on my phone. So then I can kind of tick them off as I go. And I think at the end of the year, I'll maybe do an episode where I'll kind of review all of the anime that I've watched, all of it, including the poster, including the ones that aren't on the poster that I've watched, and kind of go from there and see how many did I actually manage to watch in 2024, and which ones were the best ones, which ones surprised me, which ones did I not enjoy at all. And that could be a really cool thing for you to do as well. You know, make these lists, make these kind of notes. If you're into kind of like notes and kind of organizing your anime, you could even use my anime list. Or what's the other one? There's another one that I've got on my iPad. I can't remember the name, but it's like a purple icon. You could use that app or another app that takes your fancy and kind of romanticize the idea of watching these anime that we love watching anyway, and kind of romanticize it, rate it, review it. I could try and make a list on my anime list as well, but that might take a little while, so that may not actually get done, depending on how long that may take. But definitely take a look at what anime you're watching, and I think you'll be surprised that you'll see a certain theme within your anime watching and see which ones you get drawn to and which ones you're not drawn to, and try and kind of step out of that yourself. Or maybe have a look with me, and I think each week on my Instagram I'll share which ones I'm going to watch for that week or that month, I guess. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know. It depends on how long they're going to be. But maybe that could be a way to watch alongside me and do the same list with me. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous to start, but I cannot wait to dive into a bunch of new anime in 2024 with this anime bucket list poster challenge. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Chippy and Chill, the anime podcast. Thank you so much for every listen and download. It really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. From one week to another, thank you. Please do leave a rating and a review on the podcast platform that you're listening on this to. It really does support the show. It only takes a few seconds and it's free. I cannot ask. If I ask one thing of you, I'd ask that. Please do leave a rating and a review. Even if it's not great, please let me know. You know, it's even a bad one. Well, bad press is always what's the saying? Any press is good press, I guess. Oh, that rhymed. So a rating and a review would be great. It really does support the show. So thank you so much for whatever kind of review you do leave. Sometimes finding a birthday card or an occasion card can be a boring task. However, I have some anime-themed cards on my thoughtful.co.uk creator profile, which is found in my links on social media. Over on Thoughtful, you'll find a bunch of anime-themed cards, such as Studio Ghibli Happy Birthday cards, and more, with my range being updated regularly. Each card is processed by thoughtful.co.uk, with shipping being fast, quick, and efficient. You can shop my anime-themed cards over on my Instagram, with my links being over on there. Search Chibiweeb Anime and you'll find me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. It really does mean a lot. Please do leave a rating and a review down below. It really does support the show and it's free to do. I'll see you next time. I'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend. If you're a subscriber or if you're thinking of subscribing or starting the free trial on Apple Podcasts, I'll see you on Sunday for the next episode of the Chibi Piece exclusive Apple Podcast exclusive episode on Sunday. Thanks guys. Bye bye.